Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful recap is finally in for Thursday, November 6, 2025. In today's episode, Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Maxins Wood, and Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, connect. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp, Shinkannon, tries to counsel Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. At the office, Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K., talks about Brooke Logan Forrester's, Catherine Kelly Lang smile. The blonde has a lot to smile about. Everything seems to be working out, not just for them, but for Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, too. Ridge is still worried about Taylor. Brooke has no issue with Ridge supporting the mother of his children. However, Taylor is strong. Brooke wonders about her rival's future. She hopes Taylor can find happiness too. Ridge is on high alert about whether Taylor has a new man. Steffy interrupts. Although she wanted TRIDGE back together, it didn't happen. Steffy mentions that Taylor is extremely busy these days. Brooke is happy for Taylor and cares about her. Steffy knows, but there's no reason to stay stuck in the past. Steffy says her mother is just fine, and she understands Ridge's connection to Brooke. She doesn't like that her mother had to have her heart broken yet again. But Taylor is happy and has a lot going on in her life right now. Brooke asks if Taylor is seeing anyone. Steffy says she'll find someone one day. Deacon shows up at Taylor's office. The man is early for his therapy session. Taylor asks how things are with Sheila. The therapist mentions that Sheila came to thank her. Deacon is aware and gushes about how talented the therapist is. He doesn't want to lose Taylor. Laying it on a bit thick, Deacon. The restaurant owner thinks he can help Taylor. The man continues that he's not bashing Brooke, but she keeps coming after Ridge. Deacon promises to be there for Taylor, the way she's been there for him. Taylor appreciates it, but it's not really necessary. Deacon insists and asks if she's truly happy. Deacon knows they share kids, but Ridge isn't the guy for Taylor. She deserves so much more. At Il Giardino, Steffy shows up to see Sheila. The waitress heard she was back in town. Steffy says that after everything Luma Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, did, why did Sheila keep quiet? She was shocked when John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, mentioned his bio mom was involved. Sheila assures her that Luna is staying in prison and will never get out. Steffy mentions that Sheila never did pay any consequences. Sheila corrects her and says Deacon left her for a while. In fact, Taylor got Deacon to return to her, and she couldn't be more thankful. Taylor saved my marriage. Steffy is stunned. Thursday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivered one of the most unexpected emotional twists in recent memory. Steffy Forrester actually connecting with Sheila Carter. Yes, you read that right. The woman who once called Sheila a monster finally found herself in a vulnerable, human moment with her husband's mother. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp revealed a surprisingly insightful side as he stepped into a therapist-like role for more than one character, while Brooke and Ridge celebrated a new milestone in true Barrage fashion, with laughter, tears, and a champagne toast that could have easily turned into something more. This episode wasn't about the glamour of Forrester Creations or the chaos of the design floor. It was about human connection, reconciliation, and the blurred lines between forgiveness and folly. Let's dive deep into everything that went down on Thursday, November 6. The episode opened at the Cliff House, where Steffy stood staring out toward the ocean. The rhythmic crash of the waves seemed to mirror the storm inside her. She was deep in thought, replaying her recent confrontation with Finn over his ongoing attempts to reconnect with Sheila. Finn's words from the previous episode echoed in her mind. She's trying, Steffy. She's not the same woman anymore. Steffy's response had been sharp, almost reflexive. You don't change when your sins are carved into people's scars, Finn. But as she stood alone, there was a flicker of doubt. Could people change? Could Sheila Carter, the woman who'd nearly torn her family apart, truly have remorse? Enter Finn, cautiously stepping into the room, hopeful but careful not to ignite another argument. Hey, he began gently, you didn't sleep. Steffi shook her head, eyes glassy but determined. I can't sleep when I feel like my world's about to shift again. Finn sighed, stepping closer. I know you don't believe this, but Mom's trying. And maybe, you don't have to forgive her. But maybe you could try to see the human being behind the mistakes. The word human made Steffi tense. She tried to kill people, Finn, including you. But Finn didn't back down this time. His tone was firm, not pleading. I know. And maybe that's why I can't give up on her. Because I see what guilt looks like in her eyes every time she looks at me. There was a pause, heavy, emotional, almost suffocating. Then Steffi whispered, You're asking me to feel sorry for Sheila Carter. Finn nodded. No, I'm asking you to understand her. Meanwhile, over at Deacon's apartment, Sheila sat on the sofa clutching an old photograph of Finn as a baby. The edges were frayed, the corners bent from years of handling. Her hands trembled as she stared at it, tears silently tracing her cheeks. Deacon emerged from the kitchen with 2 mugs of coffee, noticing her stillness. You're really torturing yourself today, huh? He said softly, setting 1 mug in front of her. Sheila sniffed, brushing away a tear. I don't know how to stop, Deacon. I've done horrible things. I know that. But every time I look at him, I see hope. He's my redemption and Steffi, she's the one keeping me from it. Deacon sat across from her, leaning forward with that rough-edged tenderness that only he could pull off. Or maybe she's the one teaching you what redemption really costs. Sheila looked up, startled by his words. You sound like a therapist, she said bitterly, a faint smile tugging at the corner of her lips. Deacon chuckled. Yeah, well, if flipping burgers doesn't work out, maybe I'll hang a degree on the wall. Dr. Sharp, relationship specialist. That made Sheila laugh, and for a moment, the heaviness in the room lifted. But Deacon wasn't joking anymore when he added, You know, the more you focus on proving yourself to Steffi, the more you're going to lose sight of why you started changing in the first place. Sheila stared at him, quiet now. You didn't start this to win her over, he continued. You started because you wanted to be the kind of mother Finn could be proud of. You can't do that if you're chasing forgiveness instead of living your truth. The depth in Deacon's voice surprised even him. Sheila blinked, her guard cracking. I don't deserve either of them, she whispered. Deacon reached over and placed a hand on hers. Maybe not. But that doesn't mean you can't try to be better. And just like that, the woman the world called unforgivable was left pondering something rare, self-forgiveness. Across town, Broken Ridge were the picture of joy and relief. The Forrester mansion had been decked out for what they called a small gathering. The nothing Brooke planned ever stayed small. The champagne was flowing, the candles flickering, and the entire house seemed to glow with warmth. The occasion. A new Forrester Creations deal had just gone global. Brooke's lingerie line was expanding into Paris, Tokyo, and Milan. Rich had designed the celebratory sketches, and the two were finally basking in success together. I still can't believe we're doing this, Brooke said, laughing as she poured them both a glass of champagne. You and me, Ridge. We've been through fire and rain, and yet, somehow, here we are again. Ridge grinned, taking the glass from her hand. You say that like it's a surprise. It is, she teased, raising her eyebrow. Because every time we think we've hit the last chapter, you go and rewrite the story. Ridge's eyes softened. That's because you're my favorite story, Logan. Brooke melted, her smile glowing with that familiar warmth that fans have adored for decades. The two clinked glasses, their laughter filling the room as they reminisced about old times, runway shows, stolen kisses, and all the chaos in between. I have to admit, Brooke said, looking at him fondly, you've been surprisingly calm lately. No drama, no tantrums, no running off to Taylor's office. Ridge chuckled, don't jinx it. But maybe I finally realized what really matters. Their moment turned serious. Brooke reached out, her fingers tracing his jawline. And what's that? You, Ridge whispered. Always you. They kissed. A slow, passionate, mature kiss that spoke of history and second chances. It wasn't fireworks and chaos, it was peace. And for once, the world around them seemed to pause. Later that evening, Finn convinced Steffi to accompany him to Il Giardino under the pretense of dinner. But when they arrived, Steffi froze. The restaurant was nearly empty except for Sheila, quietly setting up chairs for the night's closing. "Finn," she hissed. "What is she doing here?" Finn gently replied, "She works here now. Deacon's letting her help out, keeps her busy." Steffi's glare could have cut glass. "You tricked me." "Maybe," he admitted, "but maybe it's time to stop running." Before Steffi could respond, Sheila noticed them. Her face drained of color, but instead of fleeing, she took a breath and approached slowly. "Steffi," Sheila said softly, voice trembling. "I wasn't expecting to see you." The tension in the air was thick enough to slice with a knife. Finn stayed silent, letting the two women navigate the impossible. Sheila clasped her hands together, her eyes darting between them. "I know you don't want to see me. I understand that. But I need you to know. I think about what I did every single day." Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our BOLD and BUTI Fuel UPDATE YouTube channel for more update news.